Now, before we start with there, I see a couple of new names here. If anybody wants to introduce themselves and give us your interest into this topic, that would be great.
Yeah, so I can first. I am Bharat from India. My interest in edge computing began when I was working with a cloud robotics startup called Rapita Robotics in Bangalore, where we were building a path for robots. And some of the clients that we were working with wanted edge compute solutions because of privacy or latency, because of the reason of latency. So that's how we got introduced to edge computing. And right now I work with another startup called Open Factory, which is into consulting. So we are also working with clients who are looking to use edge computing for industrial automation. So that's how I'm involved with all of this. Yeah.
Great. Welcome to the group.
Thank you.
I'm Mark Asselstein. I'm working at Wind River, software architect on the Linux product, and interested in Kubernetes and CNCF for obvious reasons to enhance our operating system offerings, and also interested in how Kubernetes will play with devices that aren't your typical data center type devices.
Great. So Tina, are you ready to present?
Yeah, I'm ready. I was gonna put my name on the Google Doc. Okay, anyway.
Perfect. First of all, welcome and thank you for doing this.
No problem. Okay, I'm sharing my screen. So because of the short notice, I didn't prepare dedicated slides for this meeting, but I have two sets of slides. I, as the Equinode TSC co-chair, presented to the board meeting. So I will go through the first one. When we presented in January, it will give you how and what we're doing in Equinode. Okay, here we go. So that was on January 10, yeah, when we presented. So we presented last time on the TSC update, how we are gonna do the release one, and the blueprint overviews. This is by January, but after that we have more blueprint proposed. So what's a blueprint in Equinode? It's like a hardware, software, and configuration recipe. If you put some words easier to understand. I will also give the hardware requirements summary here. In general, the whole Equinode has a lot of dependency and working and interaction with Kubernetes. Yeah, but just by the way, I saw a news yesterday, the K3s is a Kubernetes on edge. Is it also in this group or separate group from Rancher?
So we saw that as well. So as far as I know, nobody from this group was associated with it. It's a separate project from the Rancher company. So I would like to have them as well join this group and talk further with them. But so far they haven't been part of this working group, as far as I know.
Okay, so for Equinode, we use Kubernetes. All right, so this was the update. Let me minimize this. Okay, so there was 8 blueprint families, 19 blueprints to address the different edge use cases. We approved in December last year in the TSC face-to-face meeting. So we are building the validation lab for each blueprint. There was also something called feature projects. We have 4 feature projects as well. which is more like a development for the need for the blueprint. The blueprint is more like an integration. Okay, so we already had the PTL election because this is the older slide. We have the multiple talk submission to the ONS. They are all accepted. So this is how we prioritize our work for release 1. So the action here, we share an aggregated set of our one blueprint hardware and configuration requirements with Linux Foundation. Yes, we did. We elected the PTLs and also met with the incubation projects owners for the collaboration. And we have already finalized the project maturity process and also created not just AIM, and it's called the Acrino Testing Validation Framework, which provide minimize the common set for each blueprint and feature project they have to test on these test cases. But of course, they can add additional test cases for each project. Okay, now I'm giving some very high level introduction to each blueprint. So for these two, Micromac and Elliot, we call it Elliot, therefore are IoT and far edge use cases. So you can see the UMAC, it's more like used for the smart city and the generic of far edge. Currently it's based on the NSP and Marvell hardware. It can provide some smart city services like weather forecast and the other like a sign for the road dynamically. For the Elliot, there are two kinds of smaller use cases. One is the IoT gateway, the other is SD-WAN and the UCPE case. They use the very thin OS and orchestration here. This is continue to be the IoT and far edge use cases, one for time critical edge compute and the other for the integrated edge cloud. So the time critical edge compute is more like to address the IoT use cases. Some are very, like those IoT appliance, very sensitive to, to the time. So you can see they uses the Kata containers here. For the IEC, there are 4 smaller blueprints belonging to this blueprint family. One is more for the far edge. Second is for the cloud. The third is for autonomous vehicle security. And the fourth is for the AI-oriented internet stack. The latter two are still in proposal stage. Okay. After the IoT and far edge, we also have the 5G RAN use cases and telco SIBA. It's more like the broadband for like SD-OLT and those things. The 5G RAN use case, we call it REC, the Radio Edge Cloud, which has been announced jointly by AT&T and Nokia about just O-RAN requirements. It uses the cloud appliance models. It's commercial. So the thing of Acrino is more like at the deployment level and the production level for all the code we produce. And we acquire the production level code, which you can foresee the deployment in the certain end user like telcos or enterprises. The SIBA with widely supported by many companies like from AT&T, Nokia, Cloudify, Ampere, NSP, Intel, all of these companies. So it's more about access in the telco space. Okay, the network cloud blueprint is a big blueprint family. It has like 6 to 7 blueprints within it, actually include SIBA, Unicycle, and Rover, DPDK, OBS, the other things. And Tensor Fabric integration here. Tensor Fabric, it's like SDN controller, integrate all of this. And serverless, of course. So Kubernetes, you can see Kubernetes here in the big technical framework. Besides that, we have something more having the Kubernetes on the name. It's called Kubernetes Native Infrastructure for Edge. Red Hat, I see some Red Hat colleagues here proposed this, and it was accepted to support industry automation. I think this is more interesting, like the greenfield. You can deploy it for the industry automation, like robotics, like when you have a greenfield set type of factory operations in the US, you can do so. The other one is more like Far Edge Cloud, integrate StarlingX here into Akraino. It supports both VM and containers, of course. So this is the hardware we are going to have. We have the physical servers from x86 based and ARM based, and on the boxes for IoT, SD-WAN, Essential, and the switches, routers, and some OCP, Open Rack, GPUs, IoT devices. So for different blueprints, that's our hardware requirements. And now we're building the validation lab. Also selected the two community labs, one community labs from two vendors. One is the Oregon State University and New Hampshire University. So by end of this month, we'll make decision, finalize who is the winner. Then we will start putting all this hardware into the community lab. Okay, this is about in January what we presented, but recently we have some updated in February 15. I think this is more latest information for you. So we have already started the code development. PTR elected for all 18 blueprints and 3 feature projects. And we have 6 subcommittees, including the CI/CD, process, documentation, release management. We're changing the name to release management, and security. And yeah, I probably forgot some of the API is on the way. I already started the initiative and course, and also the technical community course, technical community subcommittee. Okay, we have all the repos there, and some of the projects have already uploaded their code there. So there was the great community progress moving towards to release 1. We targeted by end of April. There is a little bit rushy, but this is the first release from Akraino. The community lab requirements are finalized as I presented to you in the previous slides. It's a mixture of the hardware donation purchased. So there was a dependency on R1. Oh, sorry, we have the most important one is like upstream community. I think this community upstream subcommittee should work with Kubernetes to like how we use Kubernetes better, and also complying with all kinds of rules and be compatible, because we like I can say more than 50% of our projects are using Kubernetes. Okay, so we need some board assistance here. I will just skip this page. Just let you know, we need the board to give us more like dedicated resource for the PM, the project management. But we're doing good. We have some IT team supporting us. We have a general PM for the whole LF Edge. As you know, Akraino is now under umbrella project called LF Edge. It also covers the EdgeX Foundry. All right, so in ONS, we have Akraino talks. We'll have demo at the LF Edge booth, which will have a 2-minute video for each blueprint and the feature projects. So feel free to if you go to ONS, feel free to come to our booth. And I'll pause here and going to the, say, wiki, Acrino. So if you have been or you haven't been here, so in this, we have the goals and key principle of Acrino here. It's a bit slow, my computer today. And then this is about, if you see the integration, this is all the blueprint, approved one and proposal one, and the feature project. This is more like the point of delivery, how the delivery points we foresee here. The TSC, if you want to join any course, the TSC is here, and we have subcommittees here, and all kinds of events we have from the TSC, meeting notes. And here we have collaboration with other organizations. We collaborate with EdgeX Foundry, LEDGE, ONAP, and OSF Edge Computing Group. I will encourage the Kubernetes Edge Working Group can have something like similar like this here, how we can cooperate better here. You feel free, if you have the FID, just create a page here under this collaboration wiki page. Then we have the industry event, all kinds of we are attending, and the release. We have the project status in release 1. You can see all of our milestones, etc. We separate into 2 categories, like feature projects and blueprints. Yeah. So this is the first release. Everything just started, but in very rapid speed. We hope we can make more progress by collaboration with Kubernetes Edge Group. So I'll pass here. I'm ready to answer any questions.
So I'll start with one. This is Preston. I was trying to, quickly scour through some of this and understand the relationship of some of the different parts. And the one I came upon concrete was the KNI Edge base as a KNI template type from Red Hat. Can you try to clarify a little bit where there's the dependency stack? Because it seems like KNI is dependent on like an OpenShift account. Like what is it? What do you have something along the lines of sort of a getting started quick start that explains what actually is kind of test drivable in this stage, or is this more still just in a programmatic planning stage?
Yeah, sure. Let's have a look at the KNI Edge here. So the contact is Frank. Sorry. This is how it's a Kubernetes based. So it unites the edge computing blueprint, sharing the cluster API and the Kubernetes operators framework. And you see and optimize the Kubernetes native container workloads, but allowing mixing in VM-based workloads via the KubeVirt as needed. Let me see whether I can find any slides at all here. Yeah, here we go. This is the original proposal slides. Yeah, sometimes it takes forever. Maybe I should download it. See whether it's quicker. Yeah.
So the idea of the KNI is to kind of unify across VM-based and Kubernetes-based kind of runtime? Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So Preston, if you're interested more in this topic, I can maybe try to contact Frank and see if he can give us a separate.
No, for me, it was just in this context to understand for a kind of like what the, you know, what the
Yeah, what's the goal? Yeah.
what are the which foundations does it assume, right? If this is deploying on top of this as an assumption, it seems. Is that fair to say? That a kernel is built on this abstraction? Have we lost Tina?
No, I was muted. Yeah.
Okay.
Can you still see my screen? Yeah.
Yep.
This is similar to what we see on the wiki. And then the proposed template. See, it's mainly use any type of workload here. Containerized, VM-based. So you can see the preferred infrastructure orchestration. Yeah, everything is Kubernetes based something. Use the KubeVirt for the VM runtime. And then under this K9, it has the provider access edge. It's for the vRAN and Mac use cases. You can see it runs some Mac application here. And it shows how it uses the Tensor Fabric as the controller with a Kubernetes CNI here to correlate with the Tensor Fabric. And this is still the PAE. There's another one called Industry Edge. Somehow a little bit different, but still belongs to the same family. And yeah.
So to understand correctly, the K9 is gonna set up the Kubernetes cluster at the edge. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's my understanding from the general proposal in the committees when they're
And then I have another question. So you list out the hardware requirement table there. I'm just curious, like what's the memory constraint there? Do you have the data? Like in your previous slide, you showed a table with all the OS and how many, it's in the slide deck, Tina, earlier.
Oh, I see. You mean the when we
When
view
you
up
do
to the
the, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, we have a in the wiki page. Let me show you. So close this one. Here, there's a Google Doc with all the BOM memory, anything you wanted to know. February 21. Let me see. February 25. This one. Yeah. These are, if you want to know how much like memories, those things, these are all. I think for this K9, it relies on the community lab hardware, and also they will have their own validation lab hardware.
So roughly it's like a data center machines, is that right?
There are both data center machines and also like the IoT devices, sensors, but I think for this one, it has both. Because you see, this is the access edge and the industry edge. It's more like enterprise oriented rather than telco oriented.
Okay, I see. Thank you.
No problem. Any other questions, comments?
I had one simple question. I mean, does this project also target the last mile, like edge gateways and the less powerful devices? Like, does the project have components to address those categories of devices?
Do you mean the whole Akraino or just this Canine Edge family?
No, the entire project thing.
Or the entire Akraino? Yes. We touched last month. If you see the, let's see, SIBA here. So SIBA is just an example how we deal with the last mile. So you can see you have the ONU here. Oops, sorry. Yeah, ONU, and you go to the edge called OLT. It's kind of the whole from the OLT, software defined OLT. It's in the telco's central offices. And
So-
the last mile is here. To the
So
ONU.
these devices you're showing, they're not Kubernetes worker cluster nodes, obviously, but is there an attempt to have the Kubernetes control plane manage the configuration of these or not? Is that?
Let me show you. It is. It has the SIBA profile and code platform. It has the Kubernetes dependence. I wouldn't say Kubernetes. It's the Docker images. So I'll show you. See here. So the wiki is really more information we can find out. For example, so SIBA has the SIBA containers, right? Yeah, I don't know why internet is so slow today.
I guess one question I'm trying to understand is in the, you know, the project seems really structured around the blueprints as the unit of kind of bounded solution space, right? Like a scenario is addressed by a blueprint. Is that right? And that, I guess I'm trying to understand if a blueprint, how specific or concrete is the definition of a blueprint? Is it something that's actually like something that serializes into YAML as a like a well-defined constrained grammar, or is a blueprint just a high-level kind of architecture for a solution?
Yeah, that's a good question. So if you want to understand what blueprint is, we have a Akraino technical community document. I can verbally explain what a blueprint exactly is. So a blueprint, so in the scenarios relationship could be end-to-end, okay? Because one use case and scenarios could be used for different blueprints, and one blueprint can address several use cases. It's because like the blueprint is more like when you release as an end user release an IFI or IFP, you just say, hey, if you wanna get this project, please comply with this blueprint. This is how the way we define the blueprint. It's a recipe. It's a recipe. It has all the hardware, software, dedicated one, and also the end-to-end configuration and lifecycle management. Is it a little bit clearer?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So it's a reference and design unit as opposed to a.
It's a descriptive, yeah.
It's not a sort of serialized automation declarative thing the same way, say, like a you know, Kubernetes operator might be. It's not a runnable technical piece. It's a design piece.
Yes, exactly. You're right.
And then the way that blueprint is composed into those more technical automation level components are going to vary from blueprint to blueprint significantly, or where is there guidance in conformity or consistency across blueprints?
Yeah, so you can see in the blueprint family, we give an example. Like the family, we use example of network cloud. It has the unicycle A and B, tricycle A, rover A. and they can have different YAML files and different components. Like I use Ubuntu, you use CentOS, like this. It would be the different blueprint. Yeah, this is just an example illustration how the blueprint family and its blueprint. And this one gives a template needed for the blueprint family and how you create the blueprint and modify it.
You had on one of your closing slides from your initial deck a demo that was being done at the ONS event. Is that a demo that is there like a video of it that's available or something that?
So the video will be posted here. Let me see. Oh, my company keep asking me to migrate to something. So here we have all the demos. And the video will be uploaded here. Because so far we still have 1 month, you know. Our engineers always do the last minute panic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I'm very familiar with the drill. And I guess one of my
will be uploaded here.
Great. And is the demo, is there going to be code? Will the demo be sort of recreatable? Are you looking to document the demo as a quick start of any kind so that people can sort of use, because like you say, in scrambling to get these demos together, there's often a nice degree of end-to-end integration, you know, filling in the gap with the bits of glue needed to actually get the full end-to-end piece working. So they sometimes make good quick starts. And I don't know if that's something you're planning to actually publish the demo setup guide essentially as a quick start.
So each project give their hardware requirements on the wiki page of each project. And the demo, the video demo will be posted here on the wiki page. You can refer later when they upload it. We actually have something, a future project, which is called testing. Well, it's more like a validation framework, but it's more like giving the test cases, like 7 layers. Each layer has its own.
But see, there's a distinct, I guess what I'm asking for from the project is a distinct deliverable type, which is not the comprehensive full testing sort of certification framework. I'm looking for something a bit more hacky, like something that embraces the fact that these things are young and fast moving, and that the same way the team that is putting together this demo is doing the best with what is right now, right? That there's value in sort of being open with these sort of quick starts and sort of saying, hey, here's sort of the skeleton, bare bones, but it's end to end, right? It may not have everything in all of its final glory, but it's at least something you can stand up and see, you know, input, action, relay, something else, output, right? And that it shows you a runnable something.
Yeah, I see what you mean. For example, you can have something really hacky, like the automatic installation. For example, I give an easy example. You just follow this method of installation. It wouldn't take you much time. Then you can install the Kubernetes for Ubuntu on this. You know, something like this is what you mean? Yeah. So we do have this for each project under each project's wiki page.
And this particular one's under the Integrated Edge Cloud Blueprint. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm trying to put a couple of these deep links from the wiki into our notes, just so.
So Tina, I have another question. For all the blueprints projects, are they all based on KNI, or they have different ways for the cluster setup?
No, the KNI is in parallel to all the other families. There are 8 families, it's one of them.
Okay. So then for the other 7 blueprints, how the resources are managed? Are they using OpenStack or like?
Yeah, it depends. For example, the Equinol Network Cloud Blueprint family definitely uses OpenStack.
Okay.
And for the others, like the Iliad, they use they didn't use OpenStack.
Okay.
IEC didn't use OpenStack either, and it has its own installer. So the Network Cloud Blueprint family, they use the OpenStack and Airship.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Cool.
I had one more question. So these different blueprint categories, is there a unifying layer, like a unifying set of components, or are they completely different stacks?
Yeah, that's a good question. We are going to, guess what? We are going to use the Network Cloud Blueprint family architecture framework to make it more generic. Just remove the OpenStack and Airship as a mandatory part, or just give, okay, you can use this and you can use the other, like Compass for an NFV, more like Kubernetes based. In this case, it could be more generic for each of them. You're right. We are trying to create such page so far. Let's see. This one, yeah. And this one, OpenStack and Airship is mandatory, but we're thinking we create a picture more like a technical framework derived from this picture. Then it can be applied to most of the blueprints and feature projects.
Okay. So the idea is that you can pick and choose from these components and then adapt them to a particular blueprint family. Is it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, this one is for Network Cloud Blueprint family only, but we're just working on something based on this, but more simplified, more generic.
And when you say blueprint family, is a family just a rough, like, is it by industry or by what associates multiple blueprints into a single family?
You share the same use case, same set of hardware, software, and configuration. For example,
What makes them, why is that not one blueprint?
for example, like the Network Cloud use OpenStack and Kanai doesn't use OpenStack, and they can be the same blueprint family. And within the blueprint family, like for example, the Network Cloud, it has the Unicycle and Rover because they're in the different points in the network. The Rover is like a one rack to the very edge, far edge. And Unicycle has like 3 racks, or I can give you the point of, let's see, point of, see. Sorry, the Unicycle has 1 rack with like 7 servers, and Rover has 1 service. So within the Network Cloud, and this is one blueprint, another one, yet another one. That's why they cannot be the same blueprint. They belong to the same family because the software, hardware will be different, and the hardware.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Any other opinions? Then I think it's good. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very
So
much.
Thank you.
my email is tina.tsou@alm.com. Feel free to send me email if you have further questions. To wrap up this, I will encourage someone create a subpage here, like Ledge, or like the OPS Edge Computer Group. Then we start from there, and we have bi-weekly upstream subcommittee meeting, and you feel free to join. And you can find all the meetings in the calendar. Okay, thank you everyone. Appreciate.
Thank you, Tina. So Steve, do you want to take over with the Shanghai topic?
Okay, well, I think a few of us are tentatively planning to go to Shanghai, and the CNCF invites us to conduct an intro and deep dive session, either as 2 parts or 1 combined session. The other ground rules are that you're not supposed to repeat sessions from one KubeCon to another. And since the Europe version is the month before, we'd really like to have some different content for Shanghai. I'm planning on going to the event. I could talk about what goes on in the group at an intro level, but I don't really have a presentation to propose at this point. But if someone else does and is planning on being there, maybe you can present to the group what your idea would be. We do have a deadline on this, which I think is the end of the week, maybe even earlier.
So for KubeEdge, I proposed the topic. The idea is to talk about, because we are extending KubeEdge to manage IoT devices on top of what we built earlier. So if we are gonna have a combined or deep dive session for our group, potentially we can use it as a topic to share the progress we made. I think on the other hand, like all the collaboration with Acrino or like different architectures progress people made. For example, I think Steve, you shared about the K3S, and today we heard about the KNI. So those can be potential architectures for people working on the edge. And then KubeEdge is a different target. So the idea is like the edge nodes are worker node for cluster managed on the cloud. So I think I see 2 different architectures. So then potentially we can put these things together. What do you guys think?
Well, I don't know if you actually did it, but a while ago you were saying you were submitting a personal talk on KubeEdge for Shanghai. Did you do that? Because I think the selection committee would frown a kind of overkill if there's already a proposal on the table specific to KubeEdge of dropping similar identical content in a second session.
No, so yes. So first of all, I did submit a KubeEdge topic. What I was just trying to say is like for our team, we just share a high level as a progress we made as a team, as a working group. Like, yeah.
Okay, I think maybe if someone could compose a deck that would be a broad survey of all the edge solutions that might be based on Kubernetes or Kubernetes derivatives, that would make for an interesting talk. I don't have a deck like that ready to go, but perhaps, with months to go, we could prepare one.
we have the white paper. I think we list out all the potential pillars, like 3 pillars or 3 potential ways. If needed, I can start a draft and then for you guys to review.
Yeah, what we need is an abstract in the next couple of days. And
Sure.
for the other people on this call, I see we have 11 now. Some of us are chairs and leads of this group, but you don't have to be a chair or lead to present. So if some of you would be going to Shanghai, you know, the table's open. I think to be done under the auspices of this group, it shouldn't be focused on somebody's specific product. It has to be, you know, more generic coverage of the edge and IoT use case for Kubernetes.
Mm-hmm. Agree.
Okay, I don't hear any eager volunteers. So Cindy, maybe if you can come up with an
Okay.
abstract and
Maybe also we can put this information in the Slack channel or the group mailing list, so you know, to give
Right.
it more visibility.
Sure. So how about we do this? I'll write abstract and share in the Slack, and then we can invite more people to like talk about it.
okay,
Yeah.
that sounds like a good plan.
Mm.
What I'd prefer to do is get a proposal submitted by the deadline, and
Mm.
then you know, if we leave the abstract a little open-ended in general, it would give us more flexibility in terms of what we could actually do with the presentation
Mm.
when it gets to that time.
Okay, sounds good. I thought the deadline was last Friday, February
Well,
22nd.
There's a deadline for regular presentations, and then for SIGs and working groups, it goes slightly longer.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I should be able to share the abstract today. I'll
All right.
share it on the Slack.
Okay, back to you, Dayan, I guess.
Yeah, thanks. So yeah, I don't have any more particular topics. I talked a little bit with Bharat. I think it's also from the Open Factory group. He wanted to talk a little bit more about the state of the white paper and the future activities, but he didn't show up today. So maybe we can, you know, take this discussion on the Slack as well, offline, to see how to organize around a couple of things. On my end, I have hey.
If somebody's talking, your audio is cutting out.
Yeah, it's breaking.
Hello.
Hey.
Yeah, who's ever
yeah.
talking, maybe you can cut. It will help the audio.
Do I what? Am I audible?
Just barely. It has a superimposed warning saying your network bandwidth is low. So I think if you cut your camera, it might help us to be able to hear you.
Okay. How is it now?
Slightly better. We can.
Oh, that's
I can understand you.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just wanted to talk about the white paper. I saw that it's not finished. I think last Friday I did put some comments there on the doc, but I'm not sure what the group is planning to do with it. Like, is it abandoned, or do you guys want to publish it in its current state?
Yeah, I don't think we have the right answer at the moment. I personally, I think people are a little bit abandoned it because we used it as a like a white, you know, exactly white paper, trying to gather ideas of what we're going to do, but I think it would make sense to go ahead and try to finish it. And I mean, as it is, it serves a good purpose of introducing people to the topic, but it would be better if it would be in the finished form. I know that, you know, it's getting hard because now it's only a manual labor to try to finish it. But if there's an interest, I'm also, you know, eager to help to see it done. But I would like to limit the scope of this introduction white paper to basically just the material that's there and what we presented in the deep dive session and at the last KubeCon, and then start doing maybe you know, new documents on the specific topics. What other people think?
I agree with that. Yeah, this is Kilton. I was having the same thought. I was wondering how is this paper going to be finalized, and it seems that it has a lot in it. I'm happy to contribute to any of like the open items that have been posted as comments to see if we can get some resolution. And then I was thinking it would be really great to have out of this working group, you know, perhaps a particular paper on security at the edge. And not necessarily answering the questions, but asking the right questions. What is it that we are concerned about? What are the main challenges of security at the edge? That sounds like a paper that we could probably assemble within, you know, a couple of working group sessions if we have people dedicated to working on sections. And I'm happy to contribute.
Absolutely, absolutely. So again, yeah. On my side also, I have a couple of colleagues interested in the topic of the communication of the messaging for the edge. So that's something that we'll also start working on. And I think that's what we defined as a as a charter of the user group to create all these kind of best practices and, you know, reference documents and things like that. So, but again, I think it would be more effective to have these as a separate consumable artifacts than putting it all into one, you know, really large white paper. So my suggestion would be to try to define what you need to do to finish the current introductory white paper, right, on the topic, and then, you know, organize around doing this, you know, new blueprints and best practices documents in the future.
So I think I'm glad to hear all this because I feel like we are at a stage we can go deeper dive on different topics. So remember in the white paper currently we have a big table with a bunch of areas. In my mind, when we go deeper, like we can put the link topics in the intro, then even we can put people there and then we can go into separate documents. Yeah.
So I think the main area of the white paper that left unfinished is the workloads, and we basically covered all those into the deep dive session. So it's in kind of the slides for right now. So I think porting it and you know, documenting it properly in the white paper should be enough to finish that, and then, you know, just at the end, you know, call out the couple of things that we want to specialize in, like Kilton says, you know, in security or in the messaging or in the deployment challenges and things like that.
Sure. What I'm trying to say, I still like to have a link to the original white paper. So when people go like an individual, we should.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. I mean, we should figure out a way how to, you know, I'm sure that there's a, you know, best practices within the CNCF how we, you know, can promote this and host this. So yeah, but yeah, this introductory white paper should be the first entry point to the topic, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Bharat, Kilton, if you're interested, I mean, I honestly also didn't have cycles lately to go through all this. So we can, you know, let's just start going through the comments on the white paper and try to organize our work around it and see, if we can push it to the next milestone,
Sure. Do you think we could accomplish that type of coordination over Slack? Like if I go through and I find a section
Absolutely.
where I know I could probably help resolve some of these with research that we already have on my side, maybe I'll post in Slack, here's a section I'm working in. I'll make my edits, and does anyone want to review? And I'll maybe post when I'm done.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I think Slack and the comments on the doc itself, it should be enough. I mean, it's a small group, so shouldn't be
Cool.
hard.
Mhm.
So I guess then I think we should then start with resolving the comments on the current doc. Is it?
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. And the other topics that you guys are talking about, would they be separate papers or would they be part of the same?
I would put them into a separate paper. I would like to, limit the scope of this one and try to finish it and then start the new initiatives, after that.
Okay.
But, I mean, we can discuss all that in the Slack, whatever people think it's the best way for a particular topic to be discussed. I think, it's doable.
So I think we should at least inform everyone on the Slack channel that the doc is now open for comments, and if people have more comments, they can put in and they'll be resolved within a week or so. And then I guess we can at least release this one paper that we have.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
sounds good.
So I'm thinking, like, since we are doing a specific topic going forward, it'll be great, like, if we can use those as agenda for the coming meetings. Like, for example, Kilton is interested in security, then I would be very interested to know your thoughts and then solutions.
Oh, Cindy, I think that's a great idea. And I'm happy to put, so the next meeting will be the alternate time, right? Which would be in 2 weeks, Tuesday, Pacific time, 9 p.m. I'm happy to put an item on the agenda and open the topic of security discussion, maybe even introducing an outline of a paper, right? Some initial thoughts. And
Yeah.
this idea, we can probably make more progress if we have agenda items for these working group meetings in which we discuss the topics. We have a lot of great presentations, but then we have remaining, 20, 30 minutes each time. And we could use that to actually get the work done. This is great.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's nice.
Also, as I said, so I will start working with a couple of colleagues on the messaging patterns and communication patterns, between the edge and the clouds and between the edge nodes. So I hope maybe in the next couple of weeks we'll have something that I mean, I would like to bring that work to this working group as well, because I think it's not particularly Kubernetes related, but I think it crosses all these topics. So it'd be
Yeah, I think that's a great one. Yeah, I think that's a great one. I don't know anyone, you've been in the middle of that for quite some time. I don't know anyone else who would be able to summarize it as well as you. So I think there's a lot of value in you bringing that in.
Perfect. So yeah, at least we have two topics to start with.
Mm-hmm.
I had one more question. So I mean, does this group have a particular set of blueprints that it's working with, or like how are we moving forward with the topics of security and messaging? Are we discussing security and messaging in the context of certain blueprints, or yeah?
Yeah, that's at least my idea. So we can present some of the findings of these groups. What would be the best practices to do these kind of things. And then see. I mean, is the blueprint as a white paper enough, or can we make an actual a runnable demo or something that will demonstrates some of these best practices for people to pick up and integrate into their projects, something like that. But you know, starting with the blueprint is, I mean, something that we need to do first in order to, you know, collect our you know, thoughts.
And I think meanwhile, like while we are discussing, like people can enlighten ideas, like to extend what Kubernetes can provide. Yeah.
Also kind of discuss on the different workload types that have been mentioned in the current paper, like in the next meeting. Like, dive deep into them.
So sorry, I missed that. The audio is is a little
Sorry,
bit problematic.
sorry for the sorry for that. So what I was saying is, should we dive deep into the different workload types that have been mentioned in the current paper before going forward with security and messaging? Or
I think that would be I think if you would like to review the current paper and discuss the workload types, you could put that on the agenda for the next meeting and say, I'd like to raise a topic. I want to talk about workload types as mentioned. And that's, I think from what I have been able to tell, I think if you put a boundary around what you want to discuss and put it on the agenda, that's a great way to explore that particular section of the white paper. That'd be fine. I'd be up for talking through them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would just encourage everybody to take a look at. I think, Bharat, I sent you the slides from the CUBE session, and we tried there to dig deeper into that topic. From my point of view, I would like to put that back into the white paper and use as a base for the further discussion on that.
oh, okay.
But as Kilton said, everything is open for discussion. So just bring it up. And we'll work on it.
Cool.
Cool.
Okay, I think we spent the whole hour productively. So, does anybody have any more topics for today?
I'm full.
Cool, yeah. Okay, so let's continue talking on Slack and organize like we agreed and prepare something for the meeting in 2 weeks.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah. Nice talking to y'all.
Yeah.
Likewise. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.